The occupants from the 72nd Mechanized Brigade of Russia captured on May 17, 2023. The POUs are giving their consent to the recording and publication of the following interview. I'm giving consent to the recording and publishing the video with me. I'm not against video recording and give my consent to publishing. I'm also not against video recording and publishing. Introduce yourselves. Igor Serevich Surkov. What's your call sign? My call sign is Pan. I'm Yaroslav Georgievich Vastov. My call sign is Yari Art Yari Chugurutfurksky. No, it derives from my name. Discussing football. What about you? Unclear, what's that again? Ramel, middle name unclear, Shegapa. My call sign is Stary. What was your place of military services? I served in Moscow. You're from Tatarstan, right? From Tatarstan, yes. What about you? I'm from Nizhny Novgorod. Why are you telling sarcastic geography jokes?
Не понимаю.
Ну, типа, жопа. Жопа, из жопы.
Да, не, недалеко от Москвы.
Нижний Новгород? Ну, так ты Москва, это жопа.
You're from Rostov Oblast. Do you remember we've already met? Yes, I do. The city of Volgodonsk. Volgodonsk. Terrorist attacks used to happen there. Yes, in 2000. Okay, fine. See, Russians have been killed ever since. From Volgodonsk. Right? Did you do jail time? Yes, I did. What charge? Theft. How much time have you had left to do? A year and a month. And you decided to voluntarily go to the war? Yes. And how long had you served in jail? Last time it was just over a year. Last time? Yes. So you're not an ex-convict. What? That's what I'm asking you, damn it. I had conviction before, and now I'm convicted the second time. So you're doing your second sentence now? Yes. How long were you supposed to do in jail? I was supposed to serve 8 years and 1 month. Out of those, I have served a little more than a year. And you had 1 more year to do, right? Yes. A year and a month. So why did you make such an ingenious decision to go to the war? I don't know. I can't fully understand it in my head. I don't know how to explain it. Well, try to explain it somehow. Well, I wanted to get amnesty, to redeem myself. What did they promise you? That all charges shall be dropped, that our credit record shall be reset, that our criminal record shall be cleared. They said that we could even apply for a job at the law enforcement authorities after we're granted amnesty. So you even wanted to become cop after all this? Yes, I kind of wanted to apply for a job at law enforcement. Do you know that there are different inmates castes in prisons? Yes. Which one did you belong to? Well, all of us were equal there. I mean, Ukrainians have no clue what those prison slang terms mean. We know little about those. I just know that there are different castes. Starts listing. Which caste did you belong to, Pan? I was the man. And you, Stary? I did not go to jail. What did you do before the war? In civilian life? Yes, I was a civilian. You worked as a civilian? Well, I had different gigs. So you had different civilian gigs. Okay. And how much were you making off of gigging? It varied. You lived in Moscow, did not you? No, in Tatarstan. In which city? In Arsky district. And city? In Kazan. Arsky district. The city of Kazan. And why did you decide to go to the war? I signed the contract.
когда ты написал?
When did you sign it?
20.
On March 28, 2023.
28 марта, что ли?
28 марта.
So 2 months have passed since that moment, and here you are. Captured already. Almost 2 months, right?
Ты уже в полоне.
Yes. Well done.
Хороший результат.
So you signed the contract and decided to go fight for the Russian world.
Русский мир. Правильно?
Correct. Are you Russian yourself? I'm Tatar. Tatar, right? And you decided to fight for the Russian world, to serve by contract. How are you treated here? Everything is fine. I'm very grateful. How are you treated here, Pat? The same. Everything is great. They feed us well, give us cigarettes, water. It's warm here. When I was taken prisoner and brought here, they let us take a shower, wash ourselves. Not like in prison in Nizhny Novgorod. It was way worse in prison. What did you do before prison? I used to work, little by little. Got a stable job as I got out after the first imprisonment. Then I was charged for the second time. Where did you work? I worked as a truck driver at construction sites. Here. Yes. Tell us about yourself. Well, I too had no stable job before the prison sentence. Worked here and there at various construction sites. Worked as a loader. At one company, the bosses did not pay us. They just disappeared. At another company, which seemed quite respectable, there were cases when we were not paid as well. When did you end up in prison? In 2022. In 2022. And you had 1 more year to serve, right? A year and a month, yes. And you decided to go to the war. Yes. What was your motivation? I was motivated solely by that story. Solely by which story? The one about the amnesty. About the criminal record to be cleared. But you had only 1 year left to serve. Yes. What else did they promise you? To reset your credit record, drop all charges. How much was your loan debt? Something like 100,000. 100,000 rubles. Yes. Did you hear that people are being killed here? That people are taken captive? I did. Are you happy with how it turned out for you here? Honestly, I am. That you were taken prisoner? Yes. Why? Because things could have turned out differently and I might not have survived. What about your losses anyway? Are you all from the 72nd Brigade? From the legendary 72nd Brigade? You are some really good runners. Not really good. What were your losses? Our company began to suffer losses the very first day we arrived. That is, by the 17th day, there were only 40 to 50 of us left out of the 107 who arrived initially. And the rest, either killed in action or wounded in action. How many killed in actions? Up to 15. In literally less than a week of fighting. We used to talk about the commander of one of the battalions of the 72nd Brigade, who was a madman, and that he had already lost more than 700 people at those positions. That's what we were told. Those were killed in actions only. Yes, they don't care about you. You are ex-cons. You understand that, don't you? You signed up to work as a cannon fodder. The recruiters promised us completely different things when they arrived at our prison. But they write cannon fodder instead of soldier in your papers. You saw it yourselves, right? When the head of the military commissariat came to our prison, he offered us the contract and stated all the conditions. And when we arrived here, we realized that we were completely fucked. The fact that we were thrown here just like cannon fodder. No proper weapons, nothing. Go there, don't know where, and do that, don't know what. And if you met Putin, what would you say to him? I would tell him that he's totally fucked. Both here and in Russia too. What would you tell him? That peace has to be ensured. That his troops are to be withdrawn. That they are to be fucking gone from Ukraine. And then the war shall be over. I just don't understand what motivates, for example, a Tatar person to go to Ukraine to fight in the war there.
Например, татарин, чтобы поехать в Украину.
What must be in that person's mind? It is a question. Sort of. You had it in civilian life. Everything was cool. Life was in full swing for you.
Бьет ключом.
No.
I kind of thought that I would serve in the military according to the contract. I had no idea that they would send me here. So you mean that you signed the contract to serve in the military during the war, and you did not know that they would send you to fight?
И не знал, что я отправят на войну. Неожиданно было, неожиданность, да?
Quite a surprise. Bad luck. Bad luck indeed. You signed the contract during the wartime, and such a surprise happened that you were sent to fight. On television, they show completely different things. And when I got here, I saw with my own eyes that it was all a lie. Just so the war is stopped, and that's it. So you signed the contract in March, in April, on April 3rd. Oh, on April 3rd, in 2023. So it's only a month for you here. Even less. To get captured. Nice, nice. Have you served in the military before or not? I have. At 18. In 2018. No, when I was 18. In 1997 to Insight. When you were 18, okay. So how old does it make you? I was born in 1977. You are one hell of a mathematician too, as I see it. So the 72nd Brigade, can you tell us more about its routine, so to speak? About how everything was going on, from the moment of your arrival? Like the recruiters came to your prison, told you to sign the contract. Right? Yes. How was it? The head of some military commissariat arrived from Nizhny Novgorod. He offered to go serve in the military under a contract. He said that a salary would be provided along with a full social welfare package, that the military personnel are granted. He said that we would serve for 6 months, then we would be amnestied, then 10 days off duty, and then another 2 years of service at a military facility in the region. When we started to ask questions about what we would need to do under this contract, where we would be stationed, he replied that we would be deployed either somewhere on the border in Rostov or in Lugansk in the Donbass, where our troops have already passed and the cities have already been captured. That is, where there was no longer any fighting and we would have to just patrol the streets during the curfew, where our troops have already passed and the cities have already been captured. That is, where there was no longer any fighting and we would have to just patrol the streets during the curfew. We're doing that with regular troops of the Ministry of Defense manning the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th lines behind it. And you believed that it was exactly the kind of job ex-cons do, that it was a logical thing. Well, the thought was spinning around in my head that they might fucking fool you a little. Yeah, kind of. We asked them this question. They replied that PMs were doing that. Then we discussed it among ourselves and decided to try. Well, I mean, I went over that thought in my head again. My grandma helped me when I was in prison. Then I was spinning it in my head. I did not think it will be as now. Because before that, recruiters from the Wagner PMC had come and Prigozhin said that they had been recruiting people for the war. So Prigozhin used to come to you to your prison, right? Yes. And you stood there and saw him yourself? No, I did not. I was in pre-trial detention facility at that time. So you did not have a chance then yet. Yet, right. What did Prigozhin tell you? What does the legend say? Well, I was told that Prigozhin had arrived and said that the inmates would be going to the war. He stated from the very beginning that they were recruiting people for the front line, that those people would be trained and provided with combat equipment and salary, and that they would spend 6 months at the front line and then be granted amnesty, and after that everyone would be free to go. Basically, Prigozhin was right about that. He was picking up people, preparing them, and sending them to be slaughtered. Have you seen those piles of corpses of your guys as you arrived at the positions? No, I have not, because I arrived not long ago. We arrived at that position only on May 9th. We were brought there. Nobody met us there. We were supposed to be brought to the field staff, given numbers, tags, documents, salary cards. We were supposed to be issued uniforms back there. I have been wearing these sneakers ever since. I saw you being escorted by our guys. Do you remember? I even filmed that moment too, and it went viral. You've become quite a legendary and hype personality. You may even become a famous blogger as soon as you're released. I'm seriously. I got it. What was your situation with your combat gear? What were you issued? They gave us bulletproof vests, helmets, and I remember you were dressed in a sweatsuit. They took my vest and my helmet off. So you were just wearing your sweatsuit? Yes, I was wearing exactly the same clothes I'm wearing now. They gave us uniforms, but then took them away. We were given decent load-carrying vests. The Syrian ones. Yes, they're called Syrian due to their color. Why not the Iranian? Maybe Iranian. It does not matter. They take those away later, too. Each of us was given an AK and 4 full magazines for it. Then they took away 3 of those magazines and left us with 1 mag only. How many of you were at positions? We did not even know. We got there, 107 people in total. Then we suffered losses, and on the 16th or 17th night, they gathered maybe 20 of us to serve as a reinforcement of some kind because there were few people left at other positions. We were told that our forces had advanced forward, so we had to man their previous positions. You did a great job reinforcing those. They brought us there at night, got us into trenches and dugouts, and just told us to stay there and keep watch. They promised to come back in the morning with further instructions. So next morning I woke up at around 6 a.m. We had some coffee, and then an artillery shelling started. After that, a small arms shooting started too. Then I peeked out of the trench and saw men coming at us wearing green armbands. I shouted, "Stop! Whoever's going up." Then those men offered that we surrender. We laid down our weapons and stepped out. So you first came there on May 9th, and you were captured on May 17th. You only spent a week in the war. It was my first combat experience, and then I was taken prisoner. Pretty good. They all ran off and just left us there. That's it. So you were just shooting up in the air without, say, fighting back. Yes, you did not try to shoot at someone. I did not. You volunteered to come here just to avoid staying in prison for longer. You're such a sweet person, damn it. It was what it was. What's that? I'm saying it was like that. Yet you're all so nice here. It feels like you have an accent when you're speaking, Yeri. No, I don't think so. I have never noticed anything like that. Do you know who have taken you captive? Yes, they told us. The 3rd Assault Brigade Azov. What would you like to say to the 3rd Assault Brigade? would like to say that we're thankful to you for not fooling us when you offered us to surrender, for telling us that everything will be fine, for providing us with food, water, and that we will be treated well in captivity until the moment we are exchanged. So everything is as promised. Do you want to be exchanged? Yes, I want to see my parents again. Are you not afraid of the stories about what might happen to you once you're back there? Well, the stories that they might throw us behind bars again. I just want to see my parents, relatives. You have family there? Yes, my parents, my grandmother, and my brother. How old are you? I'm 28. And you? 22. You? 46. You were 18 in 1997, right? Yes. And you were born in 1977. 97 minus 77 equals 18. Were you the senior officer in your group? No. No. What's your rank? I don't have a rank. I'm private. You are private too. But you're a contract serviceman. A private. A private under the contract. Yes. Who was a senior officer in your group? Or you were in different companies? In different companies, yes. Did you know each other before? We did not. Did you meet while here already? I met the Tatar guy back then at 6 and when he first came to the dugout to have a coffee. And here you two are. Best friends already. And how do you like Pant? He's okay. And you? How do you like the Tatar guy? He's okay too. And what if Tatarstan decided to declare its independence? It is a part of Russia now. It used to be. It never ceased to be a part of Russia. But what if it did? I don't know. They have their own republic, their own president, something like that. What if Russia broke apart? Would you cry about that? Not really. And you, the Tatar guy, would you cry about that? Not really, too. And you, Yared? I would not. So that all nations become independent, like the Buriats would have their own country. Do you want something like that? Or you would like to invade their country too if they had one? Would you be telling the story about your greatness in that case too? Let's face it. Honestly, you Russians are getting your asses whooped right now. Like, literally. Before this, you lived all your life in your Kazan, Novgorod, Volgodonsk. You've been living in shit all your life. Constantly going to jail. Never seen a normal life. What have you been feeding on all this time? That you are involved in some kind of great power, some kind of Russian empire. Right? That you can defeat anyone. You attacked George Ichkeri of Dagestan, Moldova, always waging wars somewhere, and you've been feeding on that might your entire life. And now you see that you are simply getting your ass kicked. How are you feeling about that? That you used to live in shit, and now it turns out that your whole country is complete shithole. Well, I don't know really. Like, this is the first time I have encountered this. I have never thought about this before. In principle, I did not read anything about it, did not delve into the situation. What was the last book you read? Damn, look, I have a trouble speaking Russian myself. It's you of the two of us who came here to fight for Russian. And you don't understand what we're talking about. You fought for Russia, did not you? And I'm here doing my best speaking Russian. I'm a Ukrainian speaker originally. It's hard for me to speak your language. I'm a Ukrainian speaker originally. It's hard for me to speak your language. Why the fuck are we even talking to each other then? Would you like Tatarstan to become independent? So independence means Independence means independence, damn it. I'm saying it in Russian. In Ukrainian, the word for it is, which means that a particular country is sovereign. Our republic tried to secede from Russia in the past, but something did not work out. Something did not work out right. Do you speak Tatar in your family?
С семьей говоришь на татарском, да? На татарском.
Да,
Yes, Tatar. Then why did you go to fight for Russia?
России пошел воевать. Вот меня просто чем ты руководствовал целым?
What guided you? Well, I wanted to, serve under the contract.
по контракту.
Did they tell you the stories about the Nazis in Ukraine?
Не так уж, как вот здесь я повидал, вот за несколько.
Here I saw that it was a lie.
Нет, такого не хотел я, на самом деле.
But your people used to fight Hitler too. The Tatars. Oh, I don't know. You don't know. You are not into history. Got it. So what about those gigs of yours? Those were part-time jobs. How much did you make? It differed. It was 15,000 at one place. You know how it is in a village. I don't really. I'm not from a village. Not like in a city. So it was like 15,000 rubles, right? Yes. And how much is that in Ukrainian hryvnias? I have no idea. What was the first occupied town you arrived in when you got to Ukraine? They did not tell us the names. They told us the approximate locations, but never the exact places. Near Krasny Luck. How many of you were brought here from prisons? Many. We had 36 people in our group, all convicts. Storm Z. Is that what you're called? Like some kind of a new unit. Kind of, yes. Under the Ministry of Defense. Discussing the origins of the name. One more question. So they brought you to the town of Krasny Luck. Well, we were not stationed in the city itself. Near it. Where did you live? In tents, and in some small barns which were there. How long did you stay there? From April 21st until May 8th. Did they plan to train you? We were trained during that time, yes. Did they train you well? No, it's weird. And then you set out for the field staff. We did. After that, we were supposed to undergo the training for 2 more weeks until they get our documents and salary cards ready. And we were also given time to buy ourselves some gear that would fit us. Were you supposed to buy gear by yourselves? I was not issued boots, for instance. So I was there in these sneakers. And you were issued those boots? Yes, I was. They had no boots left in my size, and my pants are too short. So they just gave me some clothes that fit me. My outer jacket is too big, though. All the other stuff was too small for me. Who was your commanding officer? Our company leader was an ex-con himself, too. And your battalion commander? I don't know. I have never met any of the superior officers. They were supposed to meet us upon our arrival, but eventually some soldier came in. Then it turned out that he was not even from our group. Where were they supposed to meet you? At the 0 line. How did they bring you to the 0 line? In a or a BMPE? I don't know what that vehicle was called. I'm not an expert in those. They brought us straight under the shelling. Then they threw us out of the vehicle and told to take cover under the trees until someone would come for us. I don't know how long we were sitting there. Not very long, but still. Then some soldier came and showed us where we had to run. We ran, found cover, some sort of dugouts. That's where we were staying. Then we were told to go dig some holes in the nearby shelter belt. Then they told us to head back to the positions. We went back and then we were captured. It turned out pretty well for you. How did you feel when you were at the positions? Did you feel despair or sorrow? We felt lost. We had no documents, nothing. They brought us there, and nobody told us what we were doing there. The situation was not clear at all. What they did tell us was that we would be shot by our own troops if we were to abandon our positions. So there are some blocking units. It is kind of what the private military contractors are used there for. Of course, the units under the Ministry of Defense can't do something like that, to kill their own soldiers. Those private contractors are moving around there, watching over and making sure that other units do not retreat from their positions. What do you think the outcome of the war will be? I don't know. Can't tell. Did you read the news at all? Not really. Like, you are completely indifferent. Knew nothing about the war. Just signed the contract, and that's it. I don't really believe the news, because they show one thing, and in reality, something completely different is happening. For example, what they say on the news about captivity, that POUs are allegedly tortured there, and other stuff. But there's no such thing. So we believed your soldiers when they offered us to surrender, and we surrendered. And we received everything as we were promised. They feed us here, give us water, and a possibility to take a shower. Cigarettes are also provided, which is better here or in prison. It is much better here in captivity. Much better here. See, we're saving lives here. A nearly luxurious life for a Russian person here, and for a Tatar too. I don't understand your motives at all, Tatar guy. Why did you go to fight for Russia? I don't know what to say. Now say something to those Russians who are watching this video right now. I mean, not only Russians, but Russian citizens in general. Tell them something. Maybe some of them want to go to the war against Ukraine. What awaits them here and what you advise them. One at a time, I advise you to stay at home. You don't need this war. Peace is much better. And what would you say to the convicts? Do not come here either. There is nothing good in this. But you said before that it is better here in captivity than in a prison in Russia. Well, for me it turned out well and I survived, and now I'm sitting here and talking. You will either get killed or wounded here, and there's a good chance that your body will remain lying somewhere. I don't know how the body's exchange process is organized. Maybe the sides do swap bodies too. I don't know. What would you like to say, Yeri? I want to tell you not to go to this war. Neither convicts nor ordinary people. This is not our war. We have nothing to do here. We need to start a war with the Russian government instead. In the beginning they promised us golden mountains, and you see where we are now. And this is the best possible outcome here. Anyway, I don't wish this on anyone. We came here for no reason. In Russia, they all say otherwise, but it's all a lie. Everything they say about Ukraine is not true. I also want to say that no one should come here. So many innocent people have died. There's no need to fight. We need to reconcile and end this war.
Несли с собой что-то, как разговариваешь, они помириться, войну окончить.
No, we don't want to reconcile with you. Just leave and that's it. We have been enemies throughout our history.
Мы ваши враги, всегда были.
But we differ from you in that we have honor. You are now kept in proper conditions, and you have no honor. You came here to kill ordinary people, children. Now we will all say Slava Ukraini.
Знаете, что означает?
Да.
А мы не знаем?
Do you know how to reply to that?
Знаете? Я вам сказал.
Слава Украине и героям слава.
Heroyam Slava.
Героям слава.